Hey there, Regina Anley here, and it is time for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. And this week we are talking about authority. Authority meaning your authority in your industry, out in the world, in social media, when you show up at a networking event live, that authority that you bring with you for what it is that you do. So, how do you build authority? If you're new or starting a new business, you already have authority. You already have things that you know, knowledge that you have, that you are 100% confident about because it's what you know, it's what you do best, it's that core genius you have. Now, what you need to build the authority out on social media, out in networking groups, wherever it is that you're showing up, I'm going to give you 3 tips for building that authority. And the first tip is the biggest tip. You need to show up. So if you've ever noticed, consistently I put these live videos out every week, Tips and Tricks Tuesday. I have AI Spotlight on Thursday. There's stuff going on in my group every single day of the week. Showing up consistently is what helps people see you, helps you get noticed. Now, it's great to show up. So that's number 1, and it is the most important. But right behind that is what it is that you're doing. So you show up, and what do? Well, if you want to build authority, if you want to be credible, let's say you don't have to have a book. You don't have to have 5,000 clients. You don't have to have years and years of experiences in your current business, meaning you don't have to, it could be a brand new business and you can build authority. You need to show up consistently and basically share what it is that you know that helps others. Show up and provide value. Now, when you provide value to others and you do it on a consistent basis, you start getting known for whatever it is that you're talking about. Now, here's where that whole niche and ideal client thing come in. If you show up consistently, but your messaging is all over the place, you will never build authority in your industry. Why? Because people are really confused about what you do. So when we talk about niching down and speaking to that one audience, that's what we're talking about. When you're out there and you want to build authority, you want to show up as that one person doing that thing that you do best on a consistent basis. So if you're a nutrition consultant, you're constantly putting out, nutrition tips, you're helping people, you're answering questions, you're showing up and providing value. And this doesn't mean just showing up in your space, meaning your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your TikTok, wherever it is that you hang out, your Facebook. It doesn't mean just your space. It means others as well. So for instance, if you're on Facebook, there's a ton of groups out there, and there are groups out there for just about everything. I don't think I've ever seen anyone out there yet that did something that there wasn't already some kind of group or groups, most of the time, multiple groups for that very thing, where your audience is hanging out. So you need to know that audience, remember? So that niche, that audience, they're hanging out in these groups. Now, that doesn't mean that you can go out there and just, keep posting and post all the kind of stuff that you post on your page out there. However, show up consistently. Every single day, make it maybe like a half an hour in your calendar. Go out to some groups that have your ideal client that are asking the questions that you know how to answer. And without pitching, without being salesy, without saying, hey, DM me for more information, just go out and answer questions. When people post something in the group and you know the answer to it, or you have a suggestion for them, comment on their post. When you start showing up consistently like that, people notice. People notice that you're very helpful and you're actually providing real value for them. You become the authority. There's many times that I go to networking groups for places that I belong to, for groups that I belong to. And one of the comments that I get all the time is, "Oh, Regina, I love seeing, your comments out in the chat. You always have great things to post in the chat." That's because when I show up and somebody says something, or maybe even the trainer, if it's a coaching class or something like that, some kind of a master class that I'm in, somebody might say something and I might go, "Wow, that sounded great." And I'll put it in different words. What they said, I'll reword it in different words and put it into the chat. And always, 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 there's somebody who goes, "Oh, I get it now." Because not everybody understands the same thing and understands it the same way that you do. So I go in and I'll put it in the chat. And I'll be like, "Oh, so it's like this. Oh, so yeah, you're talking about this. This is great." And I'll reword it, but I'm providing more value. So people start saying, "Wow, you show up all the time. I love seeing you out in the chat. You always provide a lot of value out there." You start becoming the authority for what it is that you do. So it's really all about showing up consistently and providing that, we'll call it targeted value. It's that thing that they're asking for that you know how to answer. Trust me, out in those groups on Facebook, if you comment out on LinkedIn, comment on somebody's Instagram, don't just start DMing people. That's wrong. That does not create authority. That creates a lot of blocks. That creates people blocking you left and right. Go out there and just provide that real value. And trust me, they will come to you. You don't have to ask them to DM you. When you start building that authority up and you become known as the person who can answer their questions, all of a sudden they'll just out of the blue start messaging you. You don't have to do a thing. And they'll say, "Hey, yeah, you commented on my post and you said something about this. Can you tell me more about that?" Now you've got them in a DM or maybe an email or a comment or some private message on LinkedIn, wherever you are. Now you can start creating a relationship with that person. And you've established yourself as the authority. So to become an authority, you don't need to have a book out there. You don't have to have, a TEDx talk. You don't have to have all these credentials and all this other stuff. Do those boost your authority? Sure. They help. But people want real people. They want you to show up as you are and provide value. And when you do that and you do it consistently, you will become the authority in whatever it is that you do. And then when you think about that number 2 of sharing what you know and responding to questions and that kind of thing, if you're like me, which I'm guessing you are, and you are a continual learner, you might be learning something new. Don't wait until you've learned it and now you're implementing it to tell people about it. Go out and tell them, "Hey, I just learned this today, and oh, you were talking about this, and I think this might actually help you. I actually just learned this today in a masterclass." That actually provides more credibility and puts you in a deeper sense of authority because people know that, "Oh, wow, she's actually out there. She cares. She's learning more. She's doing even more out there, and it's all benefiting us, and she's sharing," right? So basically show up, provide that value, even if it's brand new stuff that you're learning, especially if it's new stuff you're learning. You go to a masterclass, or maybe you're away for a week or so at a masterclass or a conference and you're learning all kinds of new things. Post every day about that. You show up in a group and somebody asks a question and you just learned it 5 minutes ago, answer their question. Let them know that you know this, because you do. Just because you learned it 5 minutes ago doesn't mean you don't know it. Now you do know it. It's all about what we don't know yet, right? And as soon as you learn it, now you know it, now you can pass that knowledge on. So that's what we're talking about here, to show up and be confident in that knowledge that you have and show up consistently. And then number 3 is to celebrate small wins. Show up on a regular basis, share your results, share your progress, share your clients' progress, share feedback that you see. Maybe someone's posting a question about something and they're looking for people's opinions. Put your opinion out there. Share your information. Share what you have. So Authority really grows by you showing up as you, not some AI avatar, not some AI content, not some bot who's answering things for you, not some VA who's answering things for you. If you want to build real authority and real relationships, show up as you consistently, provide that value, share those successes, share the wins. Let them know that, hey, you are the real deal. Because it's when you show up authentically on a regular basis that all of a sudden people who don't even know you start entering your world because they heard about you, or something you said resonated with somebody else and somebody else said, hey, you need to see this. If you've ever seen a Facebook post where somebody tags somebody, they're like, oh, you need to hear this person. That's what we're looking for. Build that authority. Just show up every single day. It doesn't take long. It takes maybe a half hour a day to go out there, show up real as you, authentically you, and let them see your inner unicorn and the way you stand out and provide solutions for that exact audience that you're looking to connect with. So those are 3 simple ways to show up as an authority in your industry. Start today. Let me know what you're going to do. Put it in the comments below. I'm curious. Go out there. Be the authority that you are in your industry. That's what I've got for you this week. We'll see you next time on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Bye for now.